While visiting New York City, I noticed something odd on Google Maps near my hotel. There's a large rock breaking up the street grid of the Long Island City neighborhood. This fragment of a street behind the rock used to be parking. People would drive cars right up onto the rock. In 2019, it was reopened to the public as a park, or technically a pedestrian plaza. When I got home, I did a little research to find out how this happened. Our story begins in 2006. The New York City Parks Department held a boot camp for park advocates. Located in the heart of Long Island City's industrial district, this anomalous but pristine rock formation protrudes about 4 feet high and 15 feet square. Fuentebella envisions utilizing the rock as a recreational location for residents and employees of the various local businesses and for site-specific art installations. This was the beginning of the LIC Rock Group. Fuentebella's project proposed turning this parking lot into a mini park. This was in the earliest days of the parklet movement. In San Francisco, the community would reclaim parking spaces on the street for tiny, temporary parks. They would pay a parking meter and then set up a park for that amount of time. Over time, it spread to other cities.
Here in Boise, neighbors say these mini parks couldn't be a better match.
We're all already so outdoor oriented, so having little parklets makes perfect sense.
In 2008, there was enough momentum for drawings and t-shirts at this event in Queens. Fuentebella continued to promote the rock in local newspapers, a zine released by MoMA PS1, and a special feature in the future conservative icon, the Epoch Times. But in 2012, the trail goes cold, the occasional blog post, but not much else. It's possible that Fuentebella moved on to a new neighborhood or let go of the project. Meanwhile, a rock climbing gym opened in the Long Island City neighborhood and absorbed most mentions of the LIC Rock or Long Island City Rock. New York's Department of Transportation had a street seats program which added outdoor dining during the summer months. These should look familiar to anyone who has visited New York recently, but it was a limited program at first. In the summer of 2018, there were 16 street seat locations across Manhattan and Brooklyn. The other boroughs were looking for their chance. Somehow, I'm not sure how actually, the city decided that the LIC Rock could be a community gathering point. I would like to believe that someone held on to an article, the zine, or a t-shirt and remembered the LIC Rock was available, but I didn't find any proof of this. Long Island City has had a population boom of 78% in 10 years, growing much faster than the average for New York City and Queens. The neighborhood also won Amazon's HQ2 competition in 2018. Ultimately, Amazon withdrew and put new offices in the Hudson Yards neighborhood in Manhattan, but there's definitely been a shift in incoming tech workers both in homes and offices. The printing company, which used the lot for parking, moved out, and the building got remodeled. The site was rediscovered and shown to the Street Seat team. The project was presented to the Queens Community Board 2 in April 2019. By June, the area was repaved, and it was open to the public in July. The blue outline around the rock was inspired by Surrounded Islands, an art piece from 1983. During the pandemic, more people in the neighborhood discovered the rock. There were some community meetings which suggested bike racks. The park has picnic tables and seating and continues to be popular for events. A neighboring brewery writes, "Our address is on a pedestrian plaza, permanently shut off to traffic. It's filled with picnic tables, planters, and an ancient glacier rock, about which we know very little, unfortunately." So let's get into it. When we talk about this being an ancient glacier rock, you might ask, how ancient? Yes, it was there when you were a kid. Yes, it was there in the 80s. Glaciers covered New York City between 18,000 and 20,000 years ago. Articles have often identified the Long Island City rock as an erratic, pushed along by glaciers. And that does describe some large rocks in the city, but this one is bedrock. It was just exposed by the glacier. A presentation from 2022 calls the rock Yonkers Gneiss, which I could not really validate, but puts the age of the rock at around 500 million years since it was first formed. The local geology is a little complicated. There's Manhattan schist and Fordham gneiss, but a stripe of rock called the Brooklyn injection gneiss goes down into this area, though maybe that name is going extinct. After the glaciers, Ice Age mammals lived in the region, and as many as a dozen mastodon fossils have been found in New York City over the years. Let's fast forward to the foundation of New Amsterdam and New York. Were there guys guiding their horses around the rock hundreds of years ago? Unfortunately, no. On a map from 1900, the neighborhood wasn't really built up yet. Once all of the boroughs were combined in New York City, the government had to fill in the swampy Sunswick River and complete the Queensboro Bridge in 1909 to provide access to Manhattan. This is supposedly a photo from the rock during the bridge's construction. In 1919, the government discusses changing the grade on Sherman Place and Bodine. They are names for today's 12th Street and 43rd Road. They report that the street needs to be raised 3 to 4 feet to avoid excessive rock excavation. That sounds like our rock. I paged through some more old maps where nothing interesting shows up on the block. 1956 is the first map that I could find where this block of 12th Street is not drawn as a throughway. For whatever reason, this is likely when it was given over to parking. So what's the future for the rock? When I visited, a smash burger place had just opened on the corner. The plaza is currently pretty basic, with a lot of seating. The rendering shows more park-like features, greenery, and traffic calming on the adjacent street. I feel like this park could also use a sign or plaque to clear up any confusion about the rock. Does anyone know a geologist? Also, I'm really hopeful to hear from someone who was in the first generation of park activists. They had to wait a long time, 13 years, for the city to pick up this project and make it into something new. Maybe some people moved away as the neighborhood changed, but they put a good idea into motion. I make videos about a variety of science and history topics. This channel could use a click on the like or subscribe button to help keep it growing. Thanks for watching.